Okay, we are live. Everybody, my name is Bahzad.
My name is Risa.
And welcome to the Wonder Looper live stream, broadcasting live from Yokohama, Japan. It is Saturday, June 7th here in Japan. Friday, June the 6th. For many of you out there in the West, it is 8 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Japan time. The new time for the live stream. Welcome, everyone. Hopefully this time works for more people. Last week we had the results of the poll, and overwhelmingly people were for positive.
Yes.
For 8 p.m. So here we are.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll see some new faces. I see Solvents is in the chat. A familiar face from Scott Orlando. He says a late one for me tonight. Sorry, it's going to be a late one for some people. It's going to be an earlier one for others. Trying to spread the love around a little bit.
I don't think it will be earlier for anybody. If it's an hour later, it's an hour later for everybody.
Oh, right. So that's...
Well, but if you're like somewhere where it was midnight, and then, it was 11 p.m., and then now it's midnight, maybe it's earlier in the day, but
correct.
It's next day.
Because it's next day, it's earlier.
Anyways, we're just...
spitballing here.
Yeah.
Well, anyhow, it's good to see everybody. See the chat is filling in. We've got Yukon Selvage here. Good evening from Yukon, Canada. Summer has finally arrived. Like the new time slot will especially be nice in the winter when the majority of the Western world falls back an hour, except for the Yukon territories, Saskatchewan, and Arizona. I
knew that Arizona does something weird like that.
Yeah.
But Yukon, too.
I did not know, but appreciate it, and thanks for tuning in from... Is it... You know, I think we all call it the Yukon, but it's just Yukon. There's no the. There's the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Right?
I think so, yeah.
But it's not the Yukon, it's just Yukon.
Yeah.
I don't know how some countries get a the, even though it's not in the title.
I don't. And as a person who doesn't really understand the concept of the, it really bothers me why you can call it's the United States, but everybody calls it USA. What happened to the? Why is that important?
Is it? No, it's just United States of America.
Is it?
I think we just add the.
Oh.
Right? It just sounds nicer with the. Somebody correct me. Correct me. Is it the United States of America, or is it just United States of America? It does sound...
Kingdom.
United... I don't know. Yeah, what's the official name? I don't know. But somebody will know. The collective mind of the internet will know, and we will be corrected soon. If you want to be corrected on the internet, just make a mistake, and somebody will be there to actually you. Actually.
Yeah, but... how do we know that actually is correct?
Actually, a pimp named Slick Back has the real answer. It's America. I think that should be the official name change. America. I like it. I'm with it.
Sure.
Yeah, it's America, baby. And Vicine, there's another person with, so it's official. It's just America.
All
Apostrophe, right. America. I love it. Wonderful. Stephen Copelcam with the USA chant, the greatest chant of any country ever. It just works the best for the USA. No other country can do that chant. It doesn't sound right.
That's true.
It doesn't sound the same. USA, USA, Canada.
That works.
Yeah, it's not as good. It's not as good. BD is in the house. What I know is the Wonder Looper stream is in a new time. That's correct. It's it's just Wonder Looper, but it is the Wonder Looper live stream. A linguist is going to be in here soon to correct all of our grammatical errors, I'm sure. Chris Diaz, hello from Colorado, everybody. Good to see you. We've got Gange. Gange, hello, hi. This seems like a new face, a new name. Until the trap something says GM chat. Good morning, chat. Until the trap takes us. Until the trap takes us. All right. Well, there you go. We've got the toaster pilot. Hello from Wisconsin, Nicholas Villepou. Loving the new time. Can you do something about the sun being so bright before 6 a.m. too? The sun rises early here in Japan. It is the land of the rising sun. I don't think I can do anything about that. I think it's ingrained into the DNA of this country. It rises early. In the summer, it goes down, I feel, relatively early, because the sun is usually down like 6:30, 7 o'clock, whereas in the West, I find like the sun goes down 8, 9 p.m. If you're in Europe, some places even later, 10, 11 p.m. But yeah, I find that once that sun goes down, I feel like the day is over, and in the summer, I want that day to extend out a little bit longer. But I don't want any daylight savings. I don't want any of this time change stuff.
It's annoying.
I don't want it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to do. I think I just got to suck it up. Okay. Dub says, are you going to be doing any freedom sleeve sweatshirts in the future?
Maybe not.
What is a freedom sleeve?
It's like when the line just, like, you know, have you seen it? It's
Oh,
like
yeah, right.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's not.
It's a cool detail. It's just I feel like there isn't much practicality to it. I think it's just kind of you see it sometimes in vintage sweatshirt details, and it costs more.
Yeah, I don't know. I will say that I'm gonna Bahzad hot take.
Okay.
Bahzad hot take. Sometimes vintage detailing, I appreciate it for the garment, but I don't want to wear it. Because sometimes the stitching and everything is a little too frilly for me. There's a lot of curves and, it just seems a little embellished. A little too embellished sometimes. And you might find this on like a lot of like old, denim pieces I will find it mostly on. Sometimes there's a certain way that you can make a pocket curve that I like, and then there's sometimes I just feel like there's a lot of curves and there's a lot of stitching here to make it look, I don't know, just seems a little too pretty for me. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. I would like to kind of get pitched on about freedom sleeves. If any of you guys want that detail, like why would you want it?
Yeah.
Like, I would like to know.
Right.
But it's just I like our raglan sleeve detail. It's practical. It means something.
Right.
I don't know. It's.
Nima says, "What about raglan sleeve? Our sweatshirts are raglan sleeve currently, and I like the raglan sleeve because you don't have those shoulder lines. It fits everybody, and I really like that about these sweatshirts. It makes it easy for anyone to wear."
Yeah, especially our fabrics are, tend to be heavyweight, and if the shoulder doesn't fit, it's just sometimes,
you got this little point that might droop out over here or over here.
A little weird.
Yeah, so it makes it a lot more comfortable to wear. So yeah, anyhow, sell us on some details you might want to see if they're a little bit. Sometimes I feel like, look, I get it. You see some cool stuff, it's old, and you're like, hey, that might be neat to have. I feel you, I understand that, but sometimes I don't want to just use old school details for the sake of it. If I really find that there's a useful benefit to it, like the inlaid V on our sweatshirts, that V has a purpose. It's got a detail, it looks nice, and it has a purpose. And we make it correctly, the proper way, where it's actually inlaid. A lot of people either are just going to put stitching there, or they're just going to put a piece of ribbing on top of the back of the fabric. Like, they don't actually cut that part out. So the rib doesn't actually have any useful benefit in that respect.
Other than, like maybe for some people it looks right because we're so used to seeing that on sweatshirts. And, I think aesthetics, like how it looks, are important too. But it's not everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Dub says, I feel the freedom sleeve allows for more movement and flexibility. Some would say freedom. All right. A unique look also that I like. Yeah. Is it any more freeing, here's a good question, than a raglan sleeve or what a lot of sweatshirts did, I would say maybe starting in the 80s, where they just made those sleeves huge. Right? Some of those, I have some old sweatshirts and like the sleeve starts like way down like at your ribs and it's just like a giant pizza slice.
Paper.
Yeah. And I'm like, it doesn't look great aesthetically as a sweatshirt because it just looks, you know.
I think it has
it has a charm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when the body's short and like that, it just.
It doesn't. Sorry.
It's just a style.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Fit.
Yeah.
It's like say for instance with Naked and Famous, Easy Guy is a good equivalent to that. You have a lot more room to begin, and it's not necessarily the same thing because with jeans, like there's so many people with larger thighs and need to accommodate. But for skinnier people, in order to wear that, like it kind of gives the same vibe where it's just like it's a silhouette thing.
Right. I just find that it doesn't look as tailored. It doesn't look as it looks. Yeah. It has a sloppy look to it, which I can appreciate.
Right, exactly.
But it's not. It's not as refined. That's just my point there. There is a difference. Sometimes there is a, hey, I just love wearing loose sweats and stuff and it's comfortable. Right. But like there's a difference between like wearing that at home and like going out.
Right.
Yeah,
I get it.
I get it. You get it. I get it. We both get it. Anyhow. We've got a lot more questions to answer today because we opened up the question world to the Instagram. And actually, I didn't even check I have to check my inbox because I also opened up the question world to my inbox. And I said, for those people who may not be able to tune in live, send us your questions. And we'll see if we can answer them for you guys. So we're going to be doing that today. Ooh-wee. And I appreciate it. Yeah, okay. Anyhow, I probably should have reviewed this a lot more before. So maybe some of these questions might get pushed over to next week because I definitely got some in the inbox here. I just don't want to review them all.
Too.
Okay,
yeah.
If there's something in there that we should cover. We'll do that. Another thing that we did this week was some more moving in stuff.
Yeah.
So we moved in.
Extra video for once.
That's right. So the first vlog, I tried, to be honest with you, I tried to do another vlog this week, failed miserably.
It's hard.
It's hard, yeah. It's,
because that would have been like a, cut and put together kind of video. It's a lot more work and also it's more like...
We're in public,
yes.
And it's hard to record in public here in Japan because I don't want to get people in the background. People don't like that. Sometimes you can record in a store. Sometimes you can't record in a store. So if I'm narrating like at the start of the video, we're like, oh, we're going to go furniture shopping today. And like, one store says, okay, you can record. The other store is like, nah. I'm like, my intro to the video was kind of messed up already because anyhow. So, I'm taking the camera out and practicing a little bit more, but we did do a little extra video this week where we give you a little preliminary tour of Yokohama Wonder Looper office. We're just setting up the layout, and this week we finalized the flooring. Mm-hmm. So we went with the wood flooring. The wood flooring is secured.
Faux wood.
Faux wood. Yeah, faux wood flooring. Yeah.
It's not real wood.
It's not real wood. Looks like real wood, but
it does look like real wood. It's pretty incredible.
And it's like textured like real wood is textured. Like it is kind of interesting because some of that faux wood you get is like that laminate. It's very smooth. This one actually has like a bit of a grain to it.
Yeah, a lot of grain to it, and it matches the pattern. Also, it's like if there's like a part that's like like. I don't know what any wood terms are, but like there's things like the texture also goes with the pattern, and it just really makes sense. And I don't know how many like variation of that because like each panel is like this big, and I don't know how many variation there are, but like the two that we got as a sample,
were completely different,
very different, and maybe the way that they layouts needs to be maybe thought out. I don't know how this all works, but I'm very excited.
Yeah, but the the flooring guy secured. He's on it.
Yeah.
You know, so we're very lucky in that sense. We had a little bit of a trouble. I mean, if you didn't read the newsletter, we can talk about it a little bit. So, you know, some people asked us, you know, why don't you use real wood, or why don't you like polish the floor, make it a concrete floor? And we kind of explained that in the little vlog, because we showed you exactly what is underneath that floor that we have. And it's currently, like, you've got this carpet layer, and then you have like this under layer where all the wiring and everything goes, but that's sort of raised up above like the base floor. And if we were to rip that up, it's just going to cost a tremendous amount of money.
And also very wasteful.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's meant, you know, this floor is for office use, and so, you know, we are an office, and we need, like, you know, plugs in places that we need it, and, you know, it's nice to have the wiring done.
Yeah.
No, I mean, technically we probably don't need it so much, but it's because it's like that, and then when we move out, if we ever move out,
we have to redo the floor.
Redo the floor, and like that the whole structure, like, because entire floor is like that. If we were to, like, you know, take it up and then throw it away, because we can't keep it forever.
Yeah.
It's a tremendous amount of like stuff. So if we throw it away and then we have to reinstall that later on, that's going to cost us, you know, double the amount of, you know, everything. So it's just, you know, even though nice wood floors are nice, it's just, it may not be worth it, because as it turns out, like, the fake wood, it doesn't look so bad.
Yeah, and it'll probably wear in a little bit nicer, actually, over time, because real wood is gonna warp and stretch and scratch and this and that,
and it requires work, which, you know, I mean, I don't think we have
like,
resources to do that.
If one day, you know, we grow out of this space and we get a real skeletonized, you know, off like room or something, or we get the lucky enough to, you know, build something from scratch, guys, we're dreaming big here, you know, then we can really have a little bit more freedom in terms of like what we're gonna put in there. But like, right now,
then I think I would opt for like concrete floor, something that is less maintenance. Maybe we'll have a wood area or something like that, but the entirety of the office being wood, I don't know, it just seems like a lot of work.
Anyhow, we talked a little bit about that in the vlog there. So for people who are wondering about like why we're picking like these you know, faux items, we had to work with what we could get and what would work for the space.
Another thing is that we had like a automatic door. That we have to. The
floor has to be level with. So that was another thing that we had to consider. So at the end of the day, I think the floor is going to look fantastic, and it's going to really, really work for our space.
We had a little bit of a like decision like panic mode, and I think we, like, you know, we posted like, what do you think, the concrete style tiles or like fake wood tiles, and you know, we actually had to make a decision before majority of the answers came in,
but even then, like, the vast majority of people were voting for wood.
And then we felt
more confident with that choice.
Wood. And then, like, later on, more, like, response came in, and they all said, like, basically, most of them said wood. So it's like, okay, that's good.
So that's where we're going in that direction. It's, you know, we wanted to have, like, a little bit of a, you know, rustic warehouse kind of feel. And so I think it's going to have a nice look in there with that. And then after that, anyhow, we had some trouble with the internet. We still have trouble with getting internet in that space. It seems like the internet people are a little confused about our location and our spot. One company was like, we have your building on file, but you say you're on the 9th floor. Our records are indicating there's only 8 floors in the building. And we're just like, I can assure you, we're on the 9th floor. There's a 9th floor. You're wrong. Just come and install internet. You're like, we're going to have to see about that. We're going to have to, anyhow, we're just going back and forth with a lot of internet people right now. And then the furniture. Furniture-wise, here's a big dilemma, and now I think I'm going to ask you guys a little bit about it. Right? Because in the video we talked about a couch that we want to get, and maybe I'll pull it up on screen here, and for people who didn't watch that video, you can see. How do I spell that? Anyhow, it'll just come right up. So, there it is. That's the guy. But, sometimes I really wish websites knew. That's the one?
But that one that you're clicking is the cover.
Okay, well, Jesus Louise, it's just
Go back a page.
I'm back.
And then click on the one that's before the cover.
Which one?
This one.
This?
No.
This?
No. After
this?
Yes.
Okay, there we go. Let's split the screen here. Bam. Sorry, it was in Japanese. My Japanese not great. So this is the couch that we would like. And it's a big, giant, puffy couch. So it's got sort of this double heavyweight / industrial look to it, which I really like. So this actually is not a problem. They told us that we could have this in basically a month. So we just gotta bite the bullet and order it. And so that guy's gonna come in. But the other thing that we want, and so I'm not confused about this. I'm very happy with this. And in fact, both Risa and I, we saw this couch last weekend. We just happened to both see it, and then later on, that day, we were like, you know what? And we both mentioned that we really like this couch. So we just knew that this was sort of the way to go. But the other thing that we want is these desks. And the problem with this desk is simply that the wait time is forever. The wait time is forever.
Well, to be fair, on top of that, the price is pretty insane.
The price it's up there. It's a pricey desk.
However, this is a long-term use.
Right.
We'll have this desk for the rest of our lives, basically, kind of thing. So, we don't mind spending a little bit of money. It's just that on top of spending so much money that we would have to wait 6 months, and that we can't wait 6 months for a desk because we need to start working.
Yeah, so this is the desk. This is the American price, which, by the way, is way better than the Japanese price. Because the Japanese price has shipping and duties and probably a little bit of that extra Japan tax built in there. So anyhow, it's a nice desk, and what I really like about it is it's got this nice mix of industrialness and colorfulness. So you have these metal legs, nice wood top, drawer, and then I just like these colorful little panels here. And I think that this is a desk that it's been around for more than 50 years, and I think that in 50 years from now, this is still going to remain a very, very cool desk. So we wanted to get 2 of these. We went in, and they are the website in Japan says something like a 6-month wait time. Oh, okay. In the States, it's 16 weeks delivery. Or sorry, in the States, 16 weeks. But it's
still 4 months.
Yeah, it's still 4 months. In Japan, it was on the website, it was something like 6 months wait. And in the store, the guy's like, yeah, we could probably do it in 5 months. And so...
Yeah, 26 weeks.
Yeah.
Or something like that. It's just half a year.
Right. So the dilemma is we need desks now.
Yes.
We need to move in, and we need to have desks.
Yeah.
And so the problem is, what are we going to do? Are we going to buy just some cheapy, whatever desk and use that until this desk rolls around? Mm-hmm. Or do we buy, my problem is I don't want to be wasteful, and it just feels wasteful to buy something that I know. Anyway, I probably could sell it on Facebook Marketplace or something later on, but it just seems a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we have no choice.
Yeah, I guess we have no
we have
choice.
To buy desks for the meantime.
Yeah. So there's this IKEA desk that is seemingly okay, and there's there's a non-motorized version, and then there's a motorized version. And some people last week in the comments were like, "Oh, have you considered, a sit stand motorized desk?" I'm like, yes, that's.
I have considered that in the past. I just never felt like you need it. Like,
right.
It might be a nice feature to have, but it's like, is that something that I would constantly use? And then, if that's an option, maybe we'll know.
Maybe you will use it,
and
right?
IKEA is the perfect place to, find out if you need it or not.
Right.
It's like, it's not that much money.
Right. And then, so all this thinking got me to that point where you're at, where it's like, okay, so maybe we get these sit-stand desks. And then, what if I really like them and I don't want to get the other desk?
And we keep it.
Right. I guess we just keep it. But, I also just like that desk.
I know.
Right.
Yes. But if we feel like we benefit from having a stand option, then, we'll decide on, whether the practical, things are important or whether, looks are important at that time.
I guess.
The thing is, I think because we don't have a choice other than to get a desk right now.
Yeah.
Desks right now. That we'll give it a try.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens.
I guess so. I guess we'll see where it's going.
I'm sure some of you use the stand-up, sit-down desks.
Yeah.
I would like to know if, you actually use it. Because I feel like most people end up just sitting.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Nicholas says, do the IKEA butcher block desk. That's what we're at right now. So we have the IKEA kitchen countertop, and then we bought some, metal legs from a company that makes metal legs. And it works great. Both of us sit at one table. It's nice and long. But in the new space, I think it's not going to be...
that would be fine.
Yeah,
also,
I guess yeah.
I mean, it's... I don't know. Maybe we could use a change of scenery or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. Pierre Moreau says, I have a Herman Miller chair. It's amazing. The quality of the chair. The quality is of the chairs. Had it for 10 years. We also, both of us. Yeah. So we got to get 2 more of these also for the space.
Yeah. I actually wanted the other chair.
The executive chair.
Yeah. Or the management. I don't really know. But those are, even secondhand, those are way more expensive. And harder to get than these chairs. These chairs are so
These secondhand, you can get them no problem. And decent prices.
You have a pick of, the bunch.
Yeah.
Whereas the other chair, it's a little bit more limited. And, if you're particular about the condition of the chairs, it's the price can go up to pretty much brand new of these ones.
Yeah, right. And so, that's a tougher pill to swallow, I find. M.Chi says, how's the secondhand furniture market? The secondhand furniture market's okay here, but you have to understand, when it's secondhand American, these chairs are abundant. Because, every office in Japan, not every, but a lot of them use these chairs. And, when an office closes or shuts down, there's a lot of businesses that are just designed to, buy up, secondhand office furniture. So, if you want, very generic office furniture, there's a lot of it. There's just so much of it. But if you want, I'm going to go into, maybe more premium options or designer options, that's when things get a little bit slim, because there is a lot of demand for it, and the prices just sort of match the demand, I feel. And in some cases, it's just for example, the couch we're looking at, we found a secondhand one, and it was well, if we bought this secondhand one, the covers are not great. We'd have to replace the covers. The covers themselves cost $1,000. And I'm once you factor in the fact that you have to replace the covers, I'm only saving maybe $1,000 off of the couch itself. And so I'm is it worth it? It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, but if you consider you're probably gonna keep this furniture for decades, then it's not that much money over the course of decades, and that you're the only owner, and that there was nobody who peed into the thing.
Don't say
or
nobody
something.
pees in couches. You don't pee in couches. But also with the warranty,
seen-
like you buy a secondhand one, the warranty is gone or whatever. At least and you're spending that much money. So at least if there's a warranty with it, I'm more comfortable with it. Nobody's peeing on our office couch. If you pee on our office couch,
Oh, you're buying it.
you're buying.
You're buying the couch.
Or I'm gonna throw you out the window. Those are your two options.
We're on the 9th floor.
Yeah,
so
you're going.
the chances
Yeah,
are
don't pee on
you're
our
gonna
office
have to
couch.
buy.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, it's just like that, second hand, you don't know what happened. Just like Seinfeld episode, you just don't know. You don't know.
But they knew. They found out.
They did find out.
Yeah, Poppy.
Poppy.
Arif says, love your office video. Hi, joining late from Chicago, wearing my ELS white tee and fleeced foxfibre sweatpants.
Nice, cozy style.
Thank you very much. And I love the weekly newsletters. I appreciate that. Sometimes I have to say that I feel like I'm whining too much in the newsletters.
Sometimes you go on a while. Like,
Yeah. I trim those down,
I
by the
know,
way. That's
I
trimmed.
know.
And there's sometimes parts where I just have to cut out a whole paragraph. I'm like, nobody wants to read all this.
Yeah.
So I appreciate everybody who reads all the way through, because it is just it's an update section. It's also event section. Something. I always like to turn lemons into lemonade, and if something odd or unusual happens to us, if I could turn it into something that is, to write it down gets it out of my system, and if you get some enjoyment from it, then I turn a negative into a positive. So that's the way I feel about that. Raphael says, I read all of it. I find it fun and charming. Well, thank you very much. Stephen Colbacam, give me an unedited Bahzad. I don't think you want unedited Bahzad. It's
not necessarily better.
No.
Just
I was gonna go with Ryan from The Office's. Remember Creed had a blog?
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, I just have a text document for him, and he's like, he's got some wild opinions, and
Creed thoughts.
yeah, Creed thoughts. They might be too spicy for the internet.
Yeah.
No, unedited Bahzad. Maybe I need to start like I wanted to start a Substack where I just, it might be a place for me to write about just a lot of different topics. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Mm-hmm. And that could be unedited Bahzad. If you want to read 3,000 words on shoelaces, no problem. We can go there. Jan S says, hey, from Philadelphia, I love the newsletters to hear about the updates and what's going on. Well, I definitely appreciate that. Raphael, unedited, definitely better go all out. Thank you. All right, maybe it'll be a little longer next week. We'll see. Shangstyle says, hey, just checking, will you have a Wonder Looper website appointment booking system for when your shop space is ready?
When it's ready, yes.
Yeah. So we'll have that sorted out for you guys. So
I haven't even started looking, but
yeah.
Yes. First things first.
Yeah.
We move in.
Yeah. Move-in is happening, we will be moved in by the end of June.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So move in is scheduled. Move in as in we move the inventory and the shelves and the computers from our current warehouse to the new office. That is scheduled already.
Yeah, so that's all
that's
happening.
going to happen. And then, maybe it will take us maybe a month and a little bit to settle in, because
there's still some stuff that we need to buy. There's some racks that we need to buy. The couch needs to come in. There's some things that we need to be ready for. So
yeah, to be fair, we still don't have a desk and a chair.
That's it. So yeah, it'll take a little bit, but it's we'll keep you posted along the way. Maybe another vlog or two updated from that room, and we'll as soon as we're ready to have you arrive. I think that'll probably happen by around August-ish. We'll let you know. I see. Adam Brown says June in Japan or June in Americas.
What does that mean?
Where should you spend your June, in Japan or in the Americas? That's a good question. June is the last month in Japan before it becomes death zone.
June is also the rainy season month, though. Usually, even though this May was pretty rainy.
Yeah.
But I don't think we officially entered rainy season yet.
Yeah. So it's tough. June can be a very nice place. The weather is sunny, but not
too hot.
Too hot. Like
not too humid.
Yeah. It's hot and humid, but it's not insufferable. There comes a point like in July where you go outside and you're like, how does life exist here? It's kind of like when you're in Canada and it's minus 33 and snow's up to your knees and you're in a blizzard walking to the metro. A memory we know very well.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm having flashbacks. And you're like, why do people live here?
I used to think that all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, why didn't they move?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, it's just to me, it's incredible that somebody was like, this. I can imagine like somebody settled in an area and they're like, oh, the summer's fantastic. This is wonderful. And then like, October and November roll around and like half their family's dead because we're talking like ancient times. And they're just like, this is fine, right?
To be fair, they probably didn't know where to go to get warmer back then. They
came from somewhere. Anyhow, I don't know. All I know is that it's a frozen wasteland. And
yeah, it's impressive people lived there. Like a lot of people live, like Ontario is the most populated province, right? It's like, why isn't it BC?
Yeah, BC makes more sense. It's not as cold.
Right. Well, okay, I understand that you can't cross the border so easily, but to live. But like, if you have an option to live anywhere in the country, why wouldn't you move to BC?
Yeah, it's like America. It's like, why don't you all move to Hawaii?
Yes.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
Or California, at least. I understand Hawaii has, its limitations, but...
Hawaii has no limitations. Hawaii is the greatest state.
But
that should be the new slogan. The greatest state. Hawaii.
Oh, I agree with that sentiment. But, like, if you live in, like, Minnesota or something,
It's cold.
Yeah, why wouldn't you just move to like a little bit better?
I don't know. But I don't know. To be fair, we moved to somewhere where you have nuclear summer, and
that's true.
So we all get used to it, I guess.
Yeah.
We did invent at some point. We, as in not me, I had no hand in this at all. But some smart people somewhere back then figured out air conditioning and insulation.
Mm-hmm. Somebody who lives in Minnesota is here. Sorry.
I live in Minnesota and I didn't mind the cold. I'm just saying,
And I willingly moved to Montreal myself.
We've been there.
Yeah.
Yukon Salvage, winter is great. I moved here from Vancouver. Winter is it looks nice. Winter looks nice. Nicholas Vilpu says, I hear Hawaii gets pretty boring and it's very expensive. It is very expensive. That's true.
And you can't easily go anywhere. Just have to take a flight.
Look, when I'm president, what we're going to do is we're going to build a bridge from a lot of bridges from America, just these super highways. Like the information superhighway, but for cars, right? From America to Hawaii, we're going to...
And Hawaii to Japan, so everybody can come to Japan in a car or something.
There you go. These are all just problems waiting to be solved. Arif says, I willingly moved from Texas to Chicago. Trade-off was horrible. Winters versus unbearable heat, humidity, hurricanes, etc. Yeah, it's tough. There's few perfect places in the world.
And Hawaii is one of them.
Hawaii is one of them.
Southern California also is one of them, right. I would say.
Floating tunnels. They are already a thing in Norway. There we go. Boom.
What is a floating tunnel?
That's exactly what it sounds like. It's a tunnel that floats on the sea. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't mind the under the sea also. Yeah. I mean, if that makes it easier. I don't know.
I don't know if that's easier. That sounds harder. Under the water versus over the water.
Yeah, but I feel like you're more protected from, airstrikes and stuff like that.
Airstrikes?
I don't know.
No, we're going to have... World peace is already going to be settled by then. Yeah.
Right.
We need a Scientologist on this, okay? If there's any Scientologists out there, let us know.
Scientologists, scientists.
Yeah. They're going to fix it. Arif says Hawaii is definitely one of them. Okinawa is nice. Nicholas Philpott says Okinawa is nice. It is just not as developed as Hawaii is.
It's also, I feel like it's way more prone to hurricanes.
Oh yeah,
and way more humidity.
Yeah.
I feel like Hawaii's like, heat is a lot drier, right?
Maybe.
Sure, yeah.
I'm not sure. Eric says, Bahzad, were there any frontier in the denim industry you still want? Oh, was there any frontier in the denim industry that you still wanted to explore? That's a good question. That is a good question. Is there anything that we still wanted to do in denim that we haven't done, that we didn't do?
Oh, any like things? Of course, I think so.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of. I would say there's some ideas still in this my I'm gonna say cerveza, in my cerveza, that they're there.
Yeah,
and
I think you can never do everything you ever think of.
And so,
Dream of.
but I have to reserve those ideas. Maybe who knows? The future is a long ways away. Who knows? I would say that certainly there's fabrication that is interesting, especially when working with natural dyes and I would say more premium cottons and things like that. So there's a lot of room in that realm to explore.
Different fibers,
right? And then just
styles like fits and
fits.
stuff. So,
yeah, fits. Yeah. I have an idea. I'm not gonna say it here because I don't want to put it out there.
Yeah, because then everybody's like, when is that coming?
Yeah. But I think I could fix sizing problems. I think I can do it.
It can not eliminate it, but like reduce it.
Yeah. I think I know how.
Yeah.
And maybe one day that'll be a thing.
Yeah.
Maybe. It's certainly not on my immediate list. There's a lot of things that are much more immediate.
Yeah. Like buying a desk.
Yes. Nicholas Silva says 90s style jeans. No, I remember you saying something like that. I think that one of my near the end of Naked and Famous, I gave them a couple of ideas, things that maybe things to consider, and one of them was the collaboration stuff. There's a lot of movies and anime and just these sort of tie-ins, and I thought it would be really cool if we could do. I really wanted to do like a Woo Wear tie-in. If there was a Naked and Famous Denim Woo Wear, Wu-Tang, something like that, just because I always felt that in raw denim, the contribution that hip hop gave was never really brought to the forefront. It was always Western cowboys, miners, the real the early heritage of it. But when you look at pictures of the 1960s and 1970s, you see a lot of faded jeans, worn jeans, ripped jeans, and that's great. But when you went back into the 80s and 90s, all these guys were wearing chore coats, raw, they were wearing baggy jeans, so maybe the fits might have to be a little bit of adjusted. Mind you, there's a lot of baggy jeans in today's world, though they're not, I don't find them to be quite as baggy as I'm going to say what we were wearing. You want to know what we were wearing, go watch the movie Clueless, and there's that scene where the girls are making fun of how all the guys are dressed, and that's how all the guys were dressed. But I thought it would be kind of cool to talk about that story and maybe do a collection around it. That was one of the last ones I thought would be kind of cool to make. I think that's definitely a Naked and Famous idea. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Some people are like, don't collab with certain brands. Yeah. We know. Okay. Nicholas Philpoot. Maybe I'm just old. But once you go high rise, there's no going back.
I mean, that's a trope for just older people. I think we all tend to just like at some point go high rise, and then it's just like, it's like why wouldn't we?
We prioritize comfort a little bit more as we get older.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, I think maybe with women, but it just like, it's just like the natural waist is so much higher than most, considered medium rise kind of thing. So it's just like, it makes sense. It really does make sense to like wear something high rise. It's just the natural biological things. Whereas with the men, I feel like it might go two ways. Like, if you're slimmer, maybe high rise is still like the same way like women are, like you feel more comfortable, whatever. But if you have like maybe like a gut, it's impossible to wear at the highest point, because then like it just really like it needs to be either really tight or like it will just fall off, right? Like
slip off. Know. BD says, I think when you're younger, you get stuck with what the trend fits were versus what we may have actually wanted.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Also, when you're younger, you might not have developed a taste yet to know what you want.
Right. I think that's what he means.
Yeah.
That you're more like you don't have a choice. You feel like it's just like your choice is to be cool or not cool.
Right.
Whereas like as you get older,
you like what you like, and you're not ashamed of it anymore. You're comfortable with it. If you like it, you like it. And if you're confident wearing it, you look good.
Yeah.
You really do. I've seen people wear clown outfits, but they're proud of it, and I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
You do you.
It's like
right?
You sometimes see people who are like, there's sometimes older people too, but like, especially younger people where like you just feel like, I know you're not like, that's not your style.
Yeah.
Like it's just like you're just wearing it for whatever reason.
I'm gonna say the amount of urban goths that, as a kid who wore his hair like this and I was that kid, and then just to see the amount of people who like sort of dress that way, and I know that their lifestyle doesn't really match their uniform. I think a lot of us, maybe I'm presuming a lot of us are a little bit older in the chat, and what you wore really, like, it really was sort of a reflection of your taste in music and like your attitude in general. And like, I feel like that shift has like really, really gone out the window. And like, you get a lot of people who are like, well, I'll wear anything that's trendy. And like, whether that matches their personality or not, it doesn't matter, because their personality is like, I'm just a trend jumper. And if I have to wear, Ferrari red clothes top to bottom, because that's what the society says is the hot new trend right now, they're gonna do it.
I think you also learn about you, like as in like physically, like what looks good on you as you get older, and that you just kind of just lean into it, because like even if it's it's the style that you like, if you're not like if that doesn't complement your like looks, then you don't feel confident. So
I've been wearing more high rises as well lately, and there's some people in the chat. Owen says, sometimes I think I like my high rise OG 107 fatigues more than my denim. I wear a lot of fatigues these days. They're very comfortable. So yeah, I mean, comfort is definitely a priority. If you can match comfort with style, even better. There's one thing to be, in the, looking like being comfortable but looking like a slob, which is also a look. If you can pull it off, if you want to be the dude, you be the dude. But there's definitely ways that you can balance a lot of these things out. But
you also learn about like what to wear, like what's appropriate for the occasion kind of things,
right,
as you get older too.
Yeah, I have a lunch coming up where I have to wear a jacket. And I don't know. I don't.
Like that.
Just I don't have a lot of jackets, but I'm like, what about my pants? Like, a lot of my pants have holes and stains in them. I guess I can't wear those. I'm like, you said they had to wear a jacket, so I wore a jacket. Well, those filthy jeans aren't exactly the right match either. Anyhow, I gotta figure that out. I want to get to some of these questions.
There weren't any questions in the.
Oh, in the email. Okay,
yeah.
but we did get them in the DM and Instagram land. So let's answer some questions that came in from the audience. So I want to ask this one because some people may know, some people may not know. But the question is, I know your company started with embroidering, but I couldn't find or didn't carefully read enough about the details about the name Wonder Looper itself. What's the story?
I mean, okay. Well, we can go into that.
Yeah. Well,
just the chain stitch embroidery is where we started, and if you know your embroidery, methods, chain stitch is basically like. It's like chains. Like it's a bunch of loops that's creating the line, and that's how you embroider. So, it's just loops. And like I think in general, I always liked the word wonder, and I kind of wanted to use that word in a brand name, just because like it has this, I don't know, kind of like a little
charm.
pop, to it. So, and I
think you wanted to call it Wonder Loop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Wonder Loop somehow was taken on Instagram or .com or something like that, and then we just kind of like, but maybe
Wonder Looper. And then I suggested Wonder Looper
because it rhymes.
Right, and I'm like, it really plays off, and like it just sounded right.
Yeah.
And then really, that's really how the name was born, because it was like we wanted to incorporate the word wonder, and loops are how all the chain stitches are done. Like the stitching is just a bunch of series of loops.
Yeah.
So Wonder Loop, Wonder Looper. Yeah. And so that's how the name Wonder Looper came to be.
And the reason why we kept this name for the garment aspect of this is because of that looper. Like, we originally came from the background of woven fabrics, and like the biggest difference between those fabrics, wovens and knits, are that knits is constructed with loops.
Yeah, so a series of loops. So it just made sense that this name also carries forward, and so we just kept it, and we also just liked the name. So like we did consider like, what do we call this brand name? We really I don't even remember any of the ideas that we had, but we were certainly thinking about it, and I'm like, but this name is good. Like, it's a good... Let's just reuse the name. Let's just keep it going. And, yeah.
I mean, I had a mixed feeling about it at first, but I think it works out fine because, it's just one of those things where it made sense. I can keep both going. I still do chain stitching and, and... Yeah. And, the name itself, it's like after the fact, like after we became a clothing brand, with this name, it came with some, challenges. Like, people kind of assumed all of our fabrics are...
like suriyami net. Yeah.
And then... So I mean, like, in hindsight, like, we didn't consider all of these things, but even with that... challenges and stuff like that, I think we still love the name.
Yeah.
No regrets.
Yeah. Elaine says, Wonder Looper is such a great name. Thank you. We think so too. And I think it rolls off the tongue nicely, and it's easy to remember. Yeah. Maybe it's kind of one of those things where, like, if we were to give it like a very Japanese name, I think some people would, there's always a challenge with that where it's hard, maybe because it's not your native language, it's harder to remember, maybe it's difficult to spell. Things like that could be a bit of a challenge. I remember when we were trying to name Tate and Yoko, and the original name, the original concept was to have it in French, and we were going to call it Chaîne et Trame, which means warp and weft in French. We didn't want to call the store Warp and Weft. We just didn't want to. Also, I think the language police in Quebec would have probably had a problem with that. And yes, by the way, there is a language police in Quebec. I could talk all the crap about them that I want now, because I'm not going to. They're really nice people, the language police in Quebec, by the way. They're just them and customs border, man, some of the hardest workers out there. Doing God's work, by the way. Just, I wish I could start a vlog on just how much I love them. But anyhow, we realized that Shane et Trem was going to be maybe difficult for some people to spell. Definitely hard to spell. And so we're like, we defaulted to like, the Japanese for warp and weft is Tate and Yoko. And everybody can spell that. It's easy to remember.
People call it Tate and Yoko.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not harmful.
Yeah. Oh, Alain says, are you serious about this? Language police in Quebec? Oh yeah, they're serious too. They don't mess around. Like, oh my God. I want to tell one just incredible story. One of many. Mm-hmm. I could probably go on for hours about this.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell one. And so in Quebec, every sign must be in French. It's not that it's up to you. If you have a Indian restaurant, like your signage, your menu, everything must be in French, which makes, I would say, from the standpoint of you are in a French-speaking town or city, makes sense, right? Obviously, but I'm just saying, if you want to have it not in French, you can't. That is against the law, right? And it's like, I just feel like, if it's your business and you want to run it into the ground, shouldn't that be your decision? Yes, no, maybe, okay, I don't know. But the point is that every sign everywhere must be in French. And if you have English on it, the French must also be twice the size of the English. So if you had a giant sign on your store that said sale in English, the French must be twice the size, minimum twice the size, above the English. So that's just minimum standard. So there was like a security sticker on our building from like the 80s. It was just on the building somewhere. I guess somebody installed some security system in the building somewhere, and it was just stuck on the building. And some guy, and there's always some guy, and you'll see them all around the city because they wear like Quebec flags all over their body, just because they're not the language police. These are the language police, like, snitchers. These are the guys who go around the city and look for like English signs, and they take a million pictures of them, and then they report it to the government. And then the government will then send their hounds to deal with you. So there was some like sign that was like protected by Iron Force or whatever it was. A little sticker this big, faded out, been there for a million years. Let's get the government to give these people a problem. So they go, the government gives us a call. Hey, you have some English signage here that definitely is not allowed. You better fix this. You better get that sticker translated. We need to see a French version of that sticker. Or else. I mean, our solution was just to take the sticker off, because that sticker was not necessary to be on the building. But just think of the amount of government waste just on that simple little thing.
Yeah. And the reason why Tate Nyoko, it's almost a Tate. Yeah. Tate Nyoko can exist really without being bothered is because it sounds like it's names. Like it's right. Like you can't change that.
Right. They're proper names.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so somebody in the chat, I don't know how to say that, but somebody said, I went to Latucia in the old Port Montreal, and the owner, Latucia, said she had to get a special permit to use his name for. I in there. Huh?
I don't think there's an I in there.
Okay, anyhow, I'm mispronouncing words, but they had to get a special permit just to use the name for the restaurant. Yeah, and also more recently, they changed the laws to make it even harder for companies to have non-French sounding names. So they really are hardcore with that rule.
My favorite was when they tried to get rid of the word pasta.
Yeah.
It's like, uh-oh.
Correct. The government decided to target the Italian community, and so they were going after the Italian restaurants because.
But it's not even that. It's just like everybody uses the word pasta. Like it's not. It's like a regular language.
Correct. But it is not French, and so because it is not French.
And it wouldn't have been just Italian restaurants
Right.
that would be, paying the price.
Yeah.
It would include probably
Right.
French restaurants.
Correct. So, and the thing about Quebec is that, say, for example, there is a word in France that they use for that item. Like, for example, like, this is, en français, un smartphone.
Yeah,
Right?
or portable.
Right. So in France, they'll probably just call this a smartphone with a French accent, and there you go. But see, in Quebec, that wasn't French enough. So they made their own word, and this is un téléphone intelligent. So it's an intelligent phone. And so if there is a word in France that they use, but say, for example, it has sort of an English it's derived from English, not French enough. Don't use it. We're just going to make up our own word that is more French. And so therefore, I love, by the way, j'adore l'Office de la langue française. C'est le meilleur office du Québec. It is the best. It's the best. Just keep it up. Keep up the great work. And say, Alain says, like hot dog, right? You might say hot dog for a hot dog.
Hot dog.
Hot dog.
Probably.
But in Quebec, c'est un chien chaud. It is literally a hot dog. A chien is a dog. So anyhow, thank you. Merci beaucoup de l'Office de la langue française. I salute you. Still. I love you guys, though. I really do. Also, sometimes they tried to get us to remove Facebook posts because they weren't in French. They're like, you need to translate this. I'm like, this post is from 6 years ago. And they're like, get on it, bro. And so I just took down the post. Maple Texan says, God, I miss Montreal. It's a beautiful place. I still love it. It has its problems.
Yeah.
Not the Office de la langue française. They're perfect. It has its other problems. Like every place does. And I still love Quebec. I still love Montreal. Don't get me wrong. But, yeah. Yeah. Interesting place. I don't know how we got off on that rant, but, oh yeah, Shane Tram, names. See? This is how these things go. And this is what you would get from me if you had unhinged, newsletters. They're gonna go everywhere. They're just gonna go everywhere. Hung Dao says, what's your proficiency in French, Bahzad? I can get around. I am not going to have a debate with anybody in French. That's about it. Yeah. Yeah. Alain says, as a French person, I feel that Quebec is more French than France as from a government perspective. Look, it's hard to become more French than France, because France is the motherland, but Quebec is not France. Quebec is Quebec, and Quebec does what Quebec does, and that's their perspective. They're not trying to be France. They're trying to be Quebec.
I think they are their point is to be different from English. And that's their entire personality. Whereas France is just by being France, they're France.
Yeah.
They're French. So it doesn't they don't need to prove anything. Whereas Quebec,
I can defend Quebec. I can. They're a very, very small population of North America. This French speaking, and so they're doing their best to preserve and whatever it is. My personal stance is I don't think that they're going about it the right way. They might feel differently. They're more Quebecer than I will ever be, and so they do what they want to do. But anyhow, that's another topic for another show. Back to some questions from the internet. Okay. Back to some questions from the internet because we have them and we've got some good ones. But yeah, Quebec politics, very interesting. Look up what's his name? What's that guy from Vancouver that I like? He does really good Canadian politics stuff. JJ. Is that the name of his channel?
No, probably not. But that's his name.
Yeah, I'll think of it. I'll remind you. Okay, here's a good question. So last week we unveiled JJ McCullough. JJ McCullough, look him up. He does great Canadian political commentary. He's a very funny guy. Canadian politics is mostly boring, by the way. It's not. But, you know, if you want to learn about boring Canadian politics, JJ McCullough is the man. He makes it entertaining. Okay. Quebec. Any plans on indigo crew necks is the question.
Yes.
Yes. So, you guys know this. Many of you guys know this. But if you don't know...
This fall, we're going to have a new fabric, which is real indigo dyed front, middle layer, and then the inside is like a blanket lined style. It's not actually lined, it's just that
it looks like
inside the yarns, but we recreated the look of the blanket lined denim jacket by using indigo dyed yarns on the outside, which will fade as you wear and wash them, and then inside we have the neppy, like wool blend yarns. Yeah,
and I understand this isn't a crew neck, but it will come in a crew neck. So you've got some great options here, and it will fade. And you know, with the ribbing also, because the ribbing is it is a different fabric than the base fabric. It'll fade at slightly different rates, so you'll have like a nice, beautiful contrast going on here. And you'll probably see a lot of the fading happening actually more in like the wrist action and things like that, because you'll get the more wear out of those spots. But a real fading sweatshirt like your indigo jeans. So that is coming this fall. Okay. Stephen Copelcam, will it be crew zip and pullover? Crew zip pullover and sweatpants. You got it. Okay, so I guess some people there asked also, so what the sweatpants? It is coming in the sweatpants. Okay, black double heavyweight and ultimate Pima restocks coming soon.
What did you say?
Double heavyweight black and ultimate Pima black restocks coming soon.
Not soon. I mean, for the fall, we're gonna have a restock. The double heavyweight, probably sometime in July, August. This ultimate Pima, I'm not sure yet, but sometime in the fall.
Yeah. Q3.
Yeah, I would think so, yeah.
Okay, so tentatively guaranteed Q3. I like to guarantee things tentatively. David Hunter, NYC, good to see you, my friend. Hello, guys. I have another idea for your sofa. In addition to pebble grain leather, you could cover the sofa in denim. How about Naked and Famous Forever blue denim? Actually, we had another idea, which I think you guys might like. We thought it would be cool if we got some foxfibre, had some, not jersey fabric, but maybe have a woven fabric, maybe a canvas or something. Maybe we can have some made up. And then Risa would make the pattern for the covers and make them. I'm just giving her a job. So the other idea, or maybe at some point we will have some custom covers made, you know, something in our own realm.
Well, the thing is, our first idea was to have the t-shirt jersey fabric as a cover, but then as we thought about it more, I think it doesn't wear
as well.
Well, it will stretch out, because you're sitting on it, your entire weight is on it, and then just net fabrics tend to stretch out a little bit more, and it might not be it just if it gets too loose and it will kind of be annoying. So I think it's with the spirit of our
the fibers we use,
and all that stuff. But if we use the woven fabrics, I feel like that would match the thing a little bit more.
Right.
And because it's not dyed, it's not going to, if you come in white pants or something like that, ecru pants, you're not going to have a stain on your butt after, sitting on the couch.
Yeah. So that is our thoughts there. Nicholas Silva says, your mug reminded me, you ever thought about making a Wonder Looper mug? Yeah. Of course we've thought about it.
So many times. And just haven't done it.
Exactly. Yeah. Risa said it. It's just a matter of time. Yeah. David says, yes, you need long-lasting upholstery fabric, hence leather or denim. Yeah, or canvas. Canvas will do the job. Canvas stretches less than denim, actually. Yes. So, Stephen Kopelkamp says, Naked Famous making a 20-ounce foxfibre canvas pant. I would encourage them to make it out of denim. Here's why. Here's why. Unless it's loose, a loose fit, you want your denim to stretch a little bit. Like, canvas pants are fine, but they have to be of the right fit. And I know that
it's uncomfortable.
Yeah. Unless you're sizing it like really right, it's not going to stretch out that much, and I just find that you want that stretch to happen, especially with a heavier fabric. You get a big, heavy 20-ounce fabric in a canvas, it might not be this. I don't know.
I mean, to be fair, though,
I don't want to throw.
I've seen a very heavy canvas pants before, and it's like as long as you have to tell your customers, how to size them and all that stuff, but as long as they do that, I don't see a problem.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you just have to know what you're getting into with the canvas. I would say that that's from a customer, thinking from the customer service perspective.
Yeah,
sometimes
you're gonna have an issue with that,
sometimes the design process boils down to is there going to be a problem with this? It's a great product, right? But are the people who are going to buy this? I'm not just talking about this specifically. Just in general. You really have to consider the down the line situations.
But I mean, we're in no position to criticize what they're doing.
Give
our opinions on them. I feel like a jerk.
Maybe I just think it should be denim. That's just me. If it was me, it would be denim.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Anyways.
Yeah. An elephant foxfibre would be fantastic. And it would be...
that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
They should do that.
They should do that. You're going to sell that like crazy.
Yeah.
It's going to be incredible. Yeah.
But back to our couch.
Yeah.
Problem. Not problem, but dreams. I think a lighter weight, plain weave foxfibre would look super nice over that couch.
Yes.
That shape, and it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, and then I want to make little Wonder Looper stamps and stamp the fabric, and then it'll say Wonder Looper on it. Give that real industrial edge. Yeah. So that's some of the thoughts there. Okay, very good. Yeah, the couch is going to be great. Kirki says, you should do a collab with the Quebec language police. Yes, I will do it.
Wonder Looper would?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll have a French version of that name. Wonder Looper. No, I don't know if that would be okay.
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay, we're going to move on. Risa hates that topic.
Yes.
Okay, here's a good one. What do you think the Fox 70 would look like with a natural indigo dye?
Over it?
Yeah. I have a... Okay, I think what could be really cool is if we dip dyed it. Where, from the bottom up, you just sort of dip it like a quarter of the way. And then, maybe from halfway down, you just see, different gradations all the way down. So you get, this brown all the way to, this super dark indigo at the bottom. I think it would look really cool. And I think the brown undertone on the indigo would, warm it up a bit.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely would add the, darkness to the indigo, and also just adds, the warmness to the indigo. It's just...
It would make
I
it
don't
look
know.
blacker, I think, because you get that super dark blue mixed with the brown, and it would just look really dark. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's just that like the beauty of foxfibre, especially at 70 level, where like it's really brown. Maybe not like dip dyeing is one thing because you still see the brown, but like it just covering it's like even though like as you wash in the indigo phase, like you see more of the brown, but I don't know. It just kind of feels like a little bit of a. I wouldn't call it a waste, but it's kind of a shame to like kind of.
Right. That's why I think a dip dye is the way.
No, I get it.
Yeah. Because you get to enjoy the fox tone and the indigo. Whereas like if you cover it all, then like you don't see as much as the fox tone. You're not going to see it until you wash that. I mean, it's never going to be a brown shirt. Anyhow, it could be very interesting. More Wonder Looper ombre dip dyeing. We see some dip dyeing. Yeah, dip dyeing will be. I think we'll get there. Maple says maybe a dumb question. We'll find out. But is it possible to make knit fabrics from denim yarns?
Yes, because denim yarns are not.
They're not just for denim,
Yeah, I mean, it's just there's different
Sizes of yarn.
but like if you pick a lighter weight denim, then yarns are smaller, like thinner, and average denim yarns would be probably make like if we were to make French terry outside with it, like it would be rather like heavy, but. It's just possible. Like the yarns that we use for the double heavyweight French terry, they could easily be used for denim.
Yeah.
It's just that there is a challenge of like yarn dyed indigo yarns being used on knitting machines.
Yeah, they don't like it.
Yeah, denim is like because most of the denim mills they just deal with denim, so they deal with the indigo, so they're not bothered by it. That's pretty much the only thing they do.
Because the indigo is going to rub off on all the machines. So if you're making blue jeans, you're making one raw denim fabric or one indigo fabric or another indigo fabric. It doesn't really matter if like it stains the fabric because it's just going to mix in. You're not going to see it.
Yeah,
but. If you're making knits, they're not dealing with dark indigo. Like they deal with that very, very little, and they hate dealing with it.
And the thing is, it's not just that one machine. Like you can easily say, like, oh, you can dedicate one machine to it, but you really have to like section that off because like the fluffs of indigo. Because like especially with like knit fabrics, we use a lot of like white. Like a lot of brands use a white fabric as is, or they dye it
afterward.
Yeah, but like if an indigo fluffs from a machine next to it came over to the machine that's knitting a white fabric, it's not great.
Yeah, so, they don't want it.
Yeah,
and then even in the sewing, because the sewing table is going to get like contaminated with indigo, and then you start sewing a white t-shirt, and then all of a sudden all the white t-shirts have these blue streaks on it.
Yeah, that's why like denim industry is kind of like a little bit
it's its own thing.
Yeah, like because they're production kind of get like it's streamlined into like most of the people who live in that like just kind of stay in that denim denim world.
Yeah, it's funny because there's like we know a lot of industry people, but like it's funny how many like the knitwear people don't know the denim people, and the denim people don't know the knit people. Like they're very like sort of cut off from one another.
Well, wovens and knits like just as from the beginning of the like fabric production standpoint, they're very separate. Like yarn spinning would be. Like yarn spinning, they'll make all kinds of yarns, but then like from there, like it's just kind of split to what at the time of making fabrics, they'll split into wovens or knits. Like that 100% happens, and then sometimes you go back to the same factory, but even factories usually it's separate factories because different machines are used to sew knit materials as opposed to wovens. So the world is kind of split there.
Sally Fox is in the house. Good to see you. And Sally will be on the live stream just a few weeks. We're gonna see you soon here in Japan. And she says there was a company, Bernhard Furniture, who made their couches with the denim that Levi's used. They were beautiful and held up well. In fact, the couches we're looking at, I think maybe 10 years ago, they had a version that came with denim covers. I see
it, and obviously, denim. But yeah, I think we're.
Yeah.
I think our vision's kind of settled.
Yeah,
in that.
That's it.
Yeah.
We'll use some of your cotton for our couches. There we go. Nicholas says, my grandfather used to own a factory that made denim from the 70s to the early 2000s. It was cool seeing stuff made with denim. Yeah, it's always fun to go and see these factories. I have to say that, we've had I've known a few, YouTube personalities and stuff come through Japan recently, and the mills and stuff are they're seemingly very open to visitors and letting people come and see, and I really like that, because when we were getting when I was getting into this, and even when I was coming to Japan early days, they were not open about that kind of stuff, and just information just wasn't as free flowing, and
there's a little bit of the what do you call it? It's just kind of this is a trade secret. Very, kind of thing.
Right. Even I remember early
gatekeeping.
Gatekeeping. We'd go to some mills and we want to take pictures and stuff, and they're no. They're no, because there's a little bit of that. Yeah. But there would be straight up, and they're no, because we know that you work with other, blah, 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 and we this is our setup. We don't want nobody to know about it. There's competitors out there, this and that. But now, come take video. You're right. There are some parts where they're just no. This area, no. You cannot video in here. You can see it, no video. No pictures. But it's you see a lot more of the process now on the YouTubes, on the internet.
It's just the world has changed, and I think we all have to go with it to the point where the ultimate consumer, everyday people should have access to things, because they're the people who end up buying clothes and making the economy work.
Devin Hurt says, snowy winter camo knit. I want to make a salt and pepper kind of Grandrel t-shirt. Snowy color.
We make a ton of heather gray things.
Yeah.
That matches. That's the snowy camo.
Or we can just have snowy roll on your shirt for a minute, and then you'll get a whole bunch of snow.
You would not like that.
You don't want that? Okay. David says, do you have a sample of the canvas for the couch that we could see? Would love to see it.
We don't. We haven't.
Yeah.
This is just the
idea,
yeah.
but
we can picture it, but we don't have it.
We know who can make it for us, or they might even have it. But anyhow, the bottom line is it's it's
I know who to contact. I don't think it's the same person you're thinking, but
we don't have. It's just it's just in idea form right now. Okay. Somebody said something about Yokohama Store Special equals Bahzad Sashiko customization. You don't want me doing your sewing. Plus ombre dyed short and long tees. No, but check out Risa's t-shirt.
We're presenting today.
Yeah, Yokohama. It's a good idea, putting your city name on the t-shirt, but also this is some Yokohama blue. Yokohama blue, so it's real on point here.
We might offer this thread color now, because I really like how it looks on
the white.
The white, yeah.
Also, gray with blue looks really nice, I find.
Yeah, gray with green also looks really nice.
Yeah,
the
that's
green
true.
is a good color. Yeah. But I think we gotta offer all the primary colors.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Let's do one more question from the Instagram, and the question is: would you make wide/boxy tees? Wide boxy tees.
This is a regular T-shirt.
Yeah. What size is this?
This is size large.
Yeah.
You know, it's wide and boxy on me.
Yeah.
It's just I went. You know, I'm usually wearing extra small.
Yeah.
And this is just like a larger.
Yeah.
But and then if I, for instance, like crop this T-shirt, it would be a perfectly boxy T-shirt.
Correct. So I don't think that we're gonna go in the realm of like offering a variety of fits. T-shirts can be worn in a variety of ways to achieve those fits. You know, some people might make a boxy tee. It's just you're taking a large and putting a size small tag on it and cutting it short. That's really sometimes what it just boils down to. Now, I would say that if you want that wide boxy fit, size up 2, get it cropped if you need to get it cropped.
This is size up 3, actually.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just like, I to me, like, it goes, like, better when the fabric is a little bit lighter, a little bit droopier. You know, there's different preferences. I also, like, find my double heavyweight T-shirt to be, you know, if I wear it cropped, like, that would just be, like, my boxy tee. Yeah. But, it's just, I mean, this way to do it without us having to make, like, a completely different products.
Yeah. Alain asks, any undershirts in the future? We would like to make, we are planning on it. It's not, I don't think it'll be ready for spring 26, but we are planning on something. You know, I would say traditionally, I don't like this word, but they use this word to describe it. I'm just using it, but they would call them wife beaters. You know what I mean? And I don't like that word. We are going to rebrand the word. We're rebranding it as wife respecters. Mm-hmm. Wife respecters we're going to make, and they're going to come.
Yeah. It's just that, like, I don't know how many people would appreciate this. It's not going to be.
It won't be our best seller.
At a T-shirt.
Yeah.
I personally like it because sometimes I just don't want the like high neckline. Sometimes.
Right.
If I'm like layering and stuff, so it's basically we're gonna be making it for our personal want.
Oh no, Sally has got a good comment. Yeah. But finish what you were saying. I feel like I cut you off. I ruined it. Okay. Sally says, I'll try to post some photos of the over-dyed with indigo examples on Instagram when I get a chance. It's really interesting, but super expensive. Yes.
I can imagine.
Yeah. That's I mean, natural indigo dye. I think it was the hand dye place you went to. Plus foxfibre jersey. It's going to be... anyhow, it costs what it costs. But it'll be great to see some examples there. Stephen Kopelkamp says, I like a tank under my Hawaiian shirt.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah. A tank top does really go well with a Hawaiian shirt.
Okay, so maybe at least we have one customer.
Yeah. Okay, Leonardo says, I would 100% get a couple wife respecters. Sounds perfect for layering in the summer.
Yeah.
The
thing is, like, whenever we make something, because we need to have the best, fabric, it tends to be more expensive than,
right,
regular
than the average. Yeah, it's tough trying to be like, all right, we got to use the best. It's like, how much is that going to end up being? I'm like, whoa. Let's back up a second.
Wait a minute.
But yeah, we'll keep you posted. It is something we are working on, so we're happy to have that. Another thing that we are working on, there's two things I want to talk about. We talked about, I mentioned it in the newsletter, the sweatpants. So sweatpants for Spring/Summer 26. We had a production meeting yesterday, and we're going to go with some sort of drawstring at the bottom. And the idea is to use some sort of flat kind of drawstring. So the idea is that on the inside cuff, you'll have two little holes with two, strings that you could pull. If you want to have the bottom tight, you could have it tight. If you want to leave it open and straight, like we have it now, you just leave it open and straight. Those pull tabs shouldn't bother you, and if they do bother you, you just pull them out, and then you don't have to worry about them anymore. And the fact is, even if you have to hem them, you can just, use that. They can just fold up the hem, put the drawstrings in, and you'll be good to go. So that way, we're gonna, I think, make two worlds happy in that respect. Now, some people like the elastic bottom. We'll see. Maybe we find a flat elastic, type of drawstring. I don't know.
No. Let's not.
Okay. We're not completed anymore.
Yeah. But I think we're gonna try it out with Super Looper sweatpants. So the Super Looper is gonna have a sweatpants for the first time, and this next spring, and then we're gonna have that with the drawstring, and we'll see what happens. I mean, you're gonna see them when we get a sample. And we'll see how it works.
Yeah.
With double heavyweight, maybe it's not the greatest idea, but we'll see what it looks like.
Yeah, I think the double heavyweight, like if you try to pull the cuff is just gonna get so chunky.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
It'll be too thick.
It will be very thick.
Yeah,
so.
I don't think. Yeah, I think with double heavyweight it might not work. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, we'll keep you posted there. And then finally. We don't have the sample yet, but we are working on a new ringer tee. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we are working on a new. We got a new ringer tee. Can you grab that? I just don't want to throw Snowy on the floor here. I just want to share a new ringer tee we picked up the other day, and I love ringer tees, and I'm happy that we're going to be making some. Wow. This is another vintage Snoopy one that we picked up. New Mexico.
So cute. This is the Snowy. That's not
Snowy.
Snoopy has the big capital letter Ra, and then Woodstock has the little lowercase.
Yeah.
And they're bundled up together.
Yeah, and I like it says New Mexico, Nuevo Mexico. That's where our foxfibre cotton is grown.
Yeah.
So we had to pick this one up, and now
although this is like a very weirdly.
It's small.
This is like very.
Skinny and long.
Skinny and long. Yeah, it just feels weird, but.
I think back in the day, like more people would tuck t-shirts in. And, people were definitely skinnier back. This is a size small. People were definitely skinnier back then. On this one, it says copyright 1971. So, this is definitely from that era. Yeah. Made in USA as well. Now, what we're planning for some ringer tees is going to be a little bit different than these. Maybe down the line, I would like to have, a white base with, some sort of primary color contrast. A very classic.
Yeah, it goes really well with our Super Looper aesthetics.
Right. But what we want to do, what is being planned is we're going to do some sort of melange recycled cotton yarn on the outside. It's actually the same.
As a body?
Yeah, it's the same yarn type that we use for the fleeced foxfibre sweatshirts. And then.
We will have this kind of melange.
Yeah. And then on
as a body.
Yeah.
And then on the ribs. The contrast ribs, we use the foxfibre.
Yeah, we're going to use the foxfibre. So the foxfibre rib that we're going to have on the new T-shirts that are coming out, the Suriyami tees. So on the neck and on the sleeve, you're going to have that contrast. So it's kind of made in a similar way as the fleece foxfibre sweatshirts, as we're using foxfibre and the recycled cotton on the outside. But then you'll have this as a body, and then that as the collar. And the sleeve, so I think it's gonna look really handsome.
And then we're gonna have two colorways. So one is lighter version of this with this this contrast. Yeah. And then
we'll have a darker version with the darker tone. Yeah. So those samples we'll probably have maybe in the next, I'm hoping 6 to 8 weeks. Yeah.
Wait a minute. I don't know.
Yes. Yeah. Risa's
6 weeks is a stretch.
Yeah.
8 weeks possibly.
Okay, so definitely possibly. This is our diet. This is the way we work. Possibly, definitely.
Well, you just like saying things.
I like saying things. It's true. Sally says, "How beautiful." Well, thank you for making the cotton. Mm-hmm. We will represent you well. Whose lap does Snowy like to sit on more? Which fabric does Snowy like to crawl under the most? Nelson asks.
Snowy does not crawl under anything. He would never come into our blanket. He would just stay on top.
Yeah.
He makes sure that he's always in between us.
Yeah.
So
He's always in between us. So if we're sitting on the couch, he makes his way in between us, always. And then if we're sitting on the couch together, I feel like he goes to Mama more. That's just my opinion. I feel like he does. He likes to sit there, and then he might migrate back and forth a little bit, but I feel like he spends more time on your lap.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But like when we're sitting here, he's more comfortable on your lap.
Yeah.
I think that it's just maybe the way that like we sit.
I'm not sure. I also think that because I'm addressing you, he just wants to be in front of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He just needs to be the center of
Yeah.
attention. It doesn't really matter who we are, honestly. It's like, you know, if like our friends come and like, you know, somebody's talking and everybody's like attention is on that person, like he would go to that person.
Yeah.
So it's not really like
Yeah.
or whoever pays attention to him, he would also stay with him.
Yeah. So there you go. Yukon says he looks so comfortable right now. Yeah, he's having the time of his life. Joelle says, what's the best t-shirt you guys offer for not humid summer temperatures? I like to get one embroidered. I'd say the most comfortable for the summer, probably all Ultimate. I wear this a lot, the ELS Recycled Cotton Slub. I think the key for either one is sizing. If it's a little bit looser on the body, you've got more airflow, it's going to be a little bit more comfortable. Stick to the lighter colors, obviously. I think that also helps to keep you nice and cool. Speaking of Ultimate Pima t-shirts, you know, they're sold out on the website, on le website, wonderlooper.com. But you know where you can find one. Let me introduce you to the wonderful people at Blue Owl Workshop. This week, just like a day or two ago, released their stock of the foxfibre Suriyami t-shirts and the Ultimate Pima in white and black. The black sold out very fast.
Yeah, white also missing sizes.
Yeah, white, small, medium are gone. Foxfibre, they're going. So if you're looking, this is the last batch until the fall. So if you're looking for these, this is the only place you're going to find them right meow. Right, so go check out blueowl.us. They've got a good selection of Wonder Looper items. Sizing is, they got smalls. But right now, they've got both of these in stock in not medium.
Not medium.
Not medium. Okay, The Raven says, I bought a white Pima from them yesterday. So glad I managed to snag one. You might have got the last one, my friend. You might have got the last one. And thanks for tuning in. It was great to see The Raven here in Japan. He visited us. He's visiting. We got to hang out with him yesterday and share a slice of pizza pie. Okay, we got to do something very special today. We got snack time. Now, we got a couple of things. I'm gonna let the audience vote, but I know what they're gonna vote for.
Okay.
Everything's in the soda drawer. So we got Godzilla Energy from last week that we didn't try. Yeah. We've got space ice cream. So there's the chance for Godzilla space ice cream float. That's an option. But then there's also the two disgustoid flavors of soda that we picked up.
I feel like we shouldn't let everything out of. We should just slowly introduce it. Although you
I've already done it. Yeah. Okay. So maybe for later. But you want to grab those and let
all of them?
All of them. The audience is gonna decide. We're gonna have another audience. I like when.
Have a way to.
We need to have a live poll.
Yeah. Exactly.
Can I do that? Engage with your audience. Hold on. Start a poll. Okay, we're doing it right now. Okay, questions. Add options. We're gonna do it. Godzilla soda. Godzilla energy. This is gonna be it. You guys are gonna answer the questions. We're gonna go space ice cream. Then we're going olive soda, and then coriander soda. Okay, the poll is up. Okay, everybody.
You got that?
Yeah, the poll is up. It was simple. All right, so start your voting. We're gonna see where this ends up, and we're gonna go for it. But you guys are voting early, simply based on what they sound like. We're gonna introduce all these products to you so that you guys can see, and we will take your votes to heart. We're gonna go with it. I like this. This is great.
Okay, so Godzilla. It looks like that.
The Godzilla Energy.
Pakchi.
So
Cola.
coriander flavored soda.
Yeah.
It-
I like this packaging.
Yeah,
It's like a little ethnic.
Right. I don't know what to expect with that. I like
And
coriander.
I also like this thing.
I think this is gonna be gross. Like this, I think will be
'Cause
not
you
so bad.
don't like,
I don't like olives.
olives.
Yeah,
so
I
you're
like olive
gonna-
oil. So I don't know if it's. But,
Oh, you like olive oil.
yeah, but olives on their own, not the biggest fan. And then we got the space ice cream. So
I mean, this is just freeze-dried ice cream.
Yeah.
So.
Devin Hurt says, I don't think the space ice cream will float properly. We'll try it.
Right.
Yeah, we'll try it. If Godzilla wins, anyhow, if space ice cream wins, we're gonna try, I guess, both.
Oh, this is gonna be fun doing
Yeah.
this live polls
Yeah,
on
live
everything.
polls. Okay, the chat is being too nice. Okay, we're gonna give it another minute here. Don't vote in the chat. Vote in the poll, everybody. There's a little live poll, so let's. We're gonna give that another minute or two before we decide what to go with. What we should do is start the live stream with the poll, and by the end of the live stream, people will have. That's what we're gonna do maybe down the line. All right, but
Yeah.
you know what we haven't
it's
done?
not just for like snacks. This could be work for anything.
That's it. You know, but the other thing that we didn't do, this whole entire live stream was ask you to kindly donate your time and your energy by pressing the like button right now to help us invigorate something. It'll invigorate something. Hit the like button, everybody. While you're hitting the poll, hit the like button. Let's get the engagements up, make the YouTube overlords very happy, and it'll help spread our message out throughout the lando of the world. It looks like I'm gonna leave it here. We're gonna end the vote. Okay, you got 10 more seconds here to vote, everybody. So hit that your decision here. We'll see where we go. But it looks like space ice cream is out ahead, so we will definitely try that. And I think we'll try it with the Godzilla Energy because that is a second place. There's a second place, and we will make it a float. We'll try the energy, we'll try the ice cream, and then we'll put it in, and we'll see if we can make a space energy ice cream float.
Or maybe it would just be one of those Mentos Cola.
That would be
cool.
Wonderful. We'll ruin all of our equipment here. It'll be great. Okay, so we're going to end the poll right now in 1, 2, 3, end poll. Okay. Space ice cream wins, my friend. 39% of the vote with the space ice cream, and Godzilla Energy 26%. It turns out you guys were not so interested in disgusting soda, so these might be another week.
This actually looks so good as a product. Like the nice light green color is nice. The packaging's nice. Oh, I'm excited.
I appreciate you guys not wanting us to torture ourselves. I always thought that the torture was what you guys were tuning in for.
I also don't think this is going to be disgusting either. Because cola has like a herby taste to it anyways. Like a spice.
That's true, but I've never had a coriander flavored soda. That sounds a little off. Olive, I can write that off already. Okay, we've got space ice cream.
It's not marketed as space ice cream, but I understand that what they sold as space ice cream is freeze-dried ice cream. So that's basically the same thing.
Yeah, I never tried this before, and I've always wanted it. When I was a kid, we'd do those little space fairs and things like that. They'd always sell it, and it was just too much money, and I never got it.
I had it one time. I wanted to be an astronaut, so I was training. Oh, it's actually bigger than I thought.
All right.
Each block.
It smells like... Okay.
Vanilla?
It smells like nutritional powder. Like if you have to have like a meal supplement powder and like you mix it with like milk or something.
It has a milky smell to it, but it's not very strongly vanilla.
I just remember one time
A touch of vanilla.
I had my all 4 wisdom teeth taken out, and I couldn't open my mouth, and I had to drink those like meal replacement drinks for a while, and it smells just like that.
So the ingredients, the first one is sugar, of course. The second one is coconut oil.
Coconut oil.
And powder milk. And whey powder. So maybe there's a little bit of protein in this.
All right.
Anyways.
Let's give it a shot. Is it like a protein shake? Yeah, maybe.
It smells like that.
And like clinging them together? Because they like, can you hear that? Pretty closer.
It's chalky.
Yeah, it has like a styrofoamy kind of...
All right. Bon appetit.
It melts instantly.
It is... It sticks,
okay.
it sticks on your teeth. No?
Yeah.
It kind of stays on your teeth.
It kind of reminds me of a Lucky Charms marshmallow.
Yeah.
Right? Where it just turns to like powder.
And it's just sugar. It tastes like sugar.
It's an interesting snack. It's not the best.
It's not the best because it kind of I wish there was moisture in this.
Right. Yeah. It's very dry. As, I guess as advertised, freeze dried.
And it really sticks on top of your teeth.
Yeah, it's very sticky. I would say if I was lost in space and this was what I had to...
Oh, it would be fantastic.
This would be the greatest delight you could ever have. But here on Earth, where I have the choice of...
Ice cream
and everything else, it doesn't rank very high.
No.
It is high on the interest scale. It's worth trying.
And the taste is good. Taste doesn't bother me because it's milky, sweet candy
Like
taste.
condensed milk even. Yeah. Once it melts in your mouth, it kind of tastes... It has a texture of condensed milk. It's just sticky.
And it kind of stays that because it actually stays in your mouth for longer. The taste.
Yeah, it lasts for a while. Yeah, the Raven says, I don't know. Describing it as the only good part of Lucky Charms make it sound amazing. Yeah, it's.
But I feel like if it's smaller, it's one thing.
Yeah.
This is a block of that.
Yeah. If this was mixed in with cereal and milk, yeah, maybe.
And also, I think color helps.
Yeah.
Cute little rainbow tastes better.
I'm not ranking this on a taste level 0 through 10. This is on
As a snack, would you?
As a snack,
would you have it again?
Would I have it again? It's a 6. It's a straight 6 on as a snack. It's good. It's not my favorite. If there's other options,
I was thinking 6.3, maybe. It's not 6.5, but it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, it's.
Sometimes you like this texture, you know,
It scratches the curiosity itch.
Yeah.
Right? When you see this product on the shelf, you're like, oh, that's interesting. Here's an odd thing. Here's a very odd thing about it, which I don't believe. It has a best before date of 2026. And I just have a feeling that you could probably store this on a shelf for 50 years and it'll taste the same in 50 years. There's no moisture. There's nothing here to rot. It might...
Yeah, but it may, it's not vacuum sealed.
Well, it certainly felt like it was.
I think it made...
Anyhow,
once you open, it needs to be eaten, especially in the humid weather like this.
It might just melt on its own. Yeah. Right. Because if you were lost in space, this stuff has to last forever. You don't know how long it'll be lost for. You might end up on that damned Planet of the Apes.
If you are a mountain climbers.
Statue of Liberty. They blew it up.
What?
Anyhow.
If you are a mountain climber, I think this is also a good snack.
Yeah, probably a bunch of energy real quick.
Energy light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now speaking of energy, let's get to the main event.
Okay, the Godzilla.
Godzilla. So,
70th anniversary last year.
yeah. And so, Godzilla is back now in energy drink form. I think quite appropriately. And I have to say that the barcode here, I've seen better barcode designs than this.
This is
They tried. I'm okay with it because this is like the new Godzilla movie -1. He's like swimming under the water there, right? I get it.
Even the first one, he comes out of the water.
Yeah, right? Yeah. But I think that this scene is very kind of iconic from that movie. So yeah, you've got all the different Godzilla eras on this can. From Zero. Got some Shin Godzilla in there. You got some Showa era Godzillas in here as well. So they're all over the map. You got some Mecha Godzilla in there as well. So I like to see everyone represented here. You got some goofy Godzillas. There you go. I love dancing Godzilla.
There's Manila here.
Oh, Manila's in the house. There you go. Yeah. So a lot of great fun scenes here represented well. So let's try it out. I hope it's purple.
I think it's going to be blue.
Oh.
Because of the can.
We'll find out. Okay. Let's find out. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
This is great.
This is great.
They should really encourage people to pour this, because if you're just opening the can and drinking it, you wouldn't know.
No, look how chemically that looks. That is
the Shin Godzilla.
That's Shin Godzilla purple right there.
And it's gradient.
Yeah.
Look.
Oh yeah, chemicals. Everyone loves chemicals.
Perfect.
That's gonna give you Godzilla power.
It's the opposite of foxfibre.
Right. Okay, let's take a sip, and then we're going to try it with a float version.
Mm-hmm. This is like old school energy drink. Before they...
Like the medicine energy drinks. Like, this is really... It does have has a medicine-y taste to this one.
Before they figured out how to make energy drink more like regular soda.
Yeah.
This was the taste.
I don't know if you guys remember. Some of you might not be old enough. But Red Bull, I don't know if you know, Red Bull is from Thailand. And before Red Bull came to Canada, I remember I used to hang out with it was one of my Italian friend, and he's like, "Oh, yo, there's this health food store up there, and they got these drinks from Thailand." And I'm like, "Yo," and so he took me. We were working in the mall. He took me up there, and there's like these little brown bottles, and it was Red Bull, and they used to come in these little medicine-looking bottles. And he's like, "Yo, you gotta eat this. You eat this, drink this. You're just gonna be full of energy." And so I had it, and it tasted like medicine. It was just gross. But I'm like, the taste kind of grows on you a little bit.
Yeah.
And this reminds me of that like medicine tasting Red Bull. Yeah. And the color is,
I feel like Red Bull tastes more like medicine than this. I haven't had regular Red Bull in a long time, but this tastes. So I see that other than sugar, one of the ingredients is guarana.
Yeah, a lot of guarana. I could taste
guarana drink tastes like this. Yeah, so
okay,
makes sense. Not a surprise, but what happens if we put freeze dried ice cream in?
Wait, one more thing. You know one thing I didn't really notice? This is Godzilla Energy 4. There's
there's 4.
Maybe maybe there were some previous iterations of this drink.
That wouldn't be surprising.
We got this at the Godzilla store, in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Okay, let's make it a float. This is gonna be disgusting. So we've got the ice cream block. We've got the Godzilla Energy. What's gonna happen?
This is
very underwhelming. Just tremendously underwhelming.
I thought it was gonna bubble.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, what do we do? We can't.
It's melting in there. It is melting. I can see the corners going away. So I mean, it'll probably take a while before it melts. If you mix it up, it'll probably. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tastes the same. All right.
It hasn't melted enough.
Yeah, it hasn't. I'm sure if I mixed it in, although I don't know how much I want to do that.
No, can you just chill? Please. Yeah, it's weird.
It makes it taste worse.
It is like bubbling up like a little bit, but
No, it's no good. No good. No, terrible. Ugh.
all right. Well,
Okay, well, there you have it, everybody. Godzilla float with the freeze-dried ice cream. I think it makes sense. Space ice cream with Godzilla energy.
the float I would rate as 4.
No, even lower. Anyhow, it's not even worth a rating. But
It's not like disgusting
dis-
that I can't taste it.
right, but it's not good.
It's not good. That's why it's
Yeah,
4.
right. Okay. I think Snowy wants some. I don't think so.
I think he wants some attention.
Yeah, he wants some attention. So
Get
we're gonna
off the
yeah,
internet.
we're gonna go give him some attention, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll be back again next week. Same bat time and the same bat place, 8 p.m. Eastern, here on the Wonder Looper live stream here, broadcasting live from Yokohama, Japan, on the internet, out to you around the world. Yeah, if you have some questions for us, I will put up another Instagram poll, Instagram questions thing this week, so you can ask us, and then we will respond to your questions here on the internet. If you're watching here on the live stream,
If we didn't answer your question before,
Yeah.
you can keep asking. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe we'll get to it.
or we won't. Depends on your question. Hit the like button on the way out, and have a good weekend. Do something nice for yourself and for somebody else, and we'll see you guys again real soon. All right. Bye, everyone.